Welcome to Deal of Today. Today, we're diving into something that is completely changing the game in artificial intelligence. We're going to talk about how the power to build your own specialized expert AI has been taken from these giant corporations with massive server farms and put right onto your desktop.
Okay, so let's just think about this for a second. What if you could have an AI that gets all the specific lingo of your industry, or the unique communication style of your company, or maybe even the superfine details of your legal contracts? This isn't some far-off sci-fi dream anymore. This is the promise of fine-tuning.
So what in the world is fine-tuning? Well, imagine you have this huge pre-trained model that kind of knows a little bit about everything. Fine-tuning is when you take that model and you give it a specialized education using your own data. You're not teaching it how to think from scratch. Oh no, it's more like taking a brilliant college grad and sending him to med school to become a world-class surgeon. You're turning general knowledge into a focused expert skill. Now, to really appreciate just how incredible these new methods are, we have to take a quick look at the old way of doing things. I mean, it worked, but it was a beast. Incredibly powerful, but also incredibly demanding.
I mean, just look at the scale of the difference here. It's night and day. Pre-training a model from zero, you're talking millions of dollars and months of work just feeding it basically the entire internet. Now, traditional full fine-tuning was a bit better, but still, you can see it cost thousands of dollars and took days of training. It was a step in the right direction, but still totally out of reach for most people.
And this slide right here, this gets to the heart of the problem. Full fine-tuning meant you had to update every single one of the model's billions of parameters. It was this brute force approach that required these huge, expensive server clusters. But look at that column on the right. That is where the revolution really begins.
All right, let's talk about how everything changed. A whole new set of techniques popped up that completely rewrote the rules and made custom AI something that pretty much anyone can do. Welcome to the efficiency revolution.
So the technique that really kicked the door down is something you're going to hear everywhere now, LoRA. It stands for Low Rank Adaptation, which is a bit of a mouthful, but the core idea is deceptively simple, and honestly, it had a massive impact.
So here's the brilliant part. Instead of retraining that whole giant model, LoRA just freezes it, puts it on ice. Then it cleverly injects these tiny trainable modules, these adapters, into the model. All the new learning, all the specialization happens just in these little adapters, which are a tiny, tiny fraction of the size. It's like adding a small, specialized toolkit to a massive engine without having to rebuild the whole thing from the ground up.
And what's the result of this incredible trick? Well, you no longer have to train over 99.9% of the model's parameters. Think about that. That isn't just a small improvement. That is the key that unlocked everything. It just slashed the cost, the time, and the computing power you needed.
And just when we thought things couldn't possibly get more efficient, they did. Another innovation came along called QLoRA. It basically took the amazing idea of LoRA and supercharged it with another trick called quantization. It's just a fancy way of shrinking the model's memory footprint so it can fit into a much smaller space without really losing performance. And this is where it gets truly mind-blowing. To fine-tune a massive 70 billion parameter model, you used to need over 140 gigabytes of GPU memory. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you only find in massive data centers. But with QLoRA, that number plummets, all the way down to just 35 gigs. Suddenly, this immense power can fit onto a single graphics card that a small business or even you can actually own. Okay, so we've made our AI a specialist. It's smart, it knows its stuff. But is it helpful? Is it safe? You see, the final piece of this puzzle isn't about knowledge. It's about behavior. It's about teaching the AI some good manners. And this process is called alignment. It's all about making sure the AI doesn't just give you an answer, but the right kind of answer. One that's helpful, harmless, and follows the rules and guidelines you set for it. For a while, the standard for alignment was a method called RLHF. And as you could see, it was a beast. A really complicated, multi-stage process where you literally had to train a whole separate AI just to act as a judge. It was notoriously difficult and really unstable to work with. But just like we saw with fine-tuning, a simpler, way more elegant solution came along, direct preference optimization, or DPO. And it just completely sidesteps all the complexity of the old method by getting rid of that separate judge AI entirely. And this comparison just makes the advantage crystal clear. Instead of that clunky pipeline, DPO learns directly from simple data pairs. You just show it a prompt, then show it two answers and say, hey, I like this response and I don't like that one. The model learns right from your preferences. It's more stable, way more efficient, and so much easier to work with.
So let's put it all together. You have this series of brilliant innovations, LoRA, then QLoRA, and finally DPO. Together, they have fundamentally changed the entire landscape of AI. The power isn't concentrated in just a few hands anymore.
So, what's the bottom line? Why does all this matter to you? Because the barriers to entry have crumbled. It means accessibility. You can fine-tune huge, powerful models on a single GPU. It means the cost has been slashed, so pretty much anyone can get in the game. It means speed. You can innovate and try new things faster than ever. And it means you can build a true expert for any niche you can possibly imagine and have total control over how it behaves. And this brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. The tools that were once exclusive to these giant tech labs, they're now in your hands. So the only question left really is, what amazing, specialized, world-changing thing are you going to build with them?